Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi is set to announce a new cabinet lineup on Thursday. It's after hundreds of thousands of Iraqis staged a sit-in protest led by Shia cleric Sadr. They're calling the government incompetent and corrupt. The sit-in took place inside Baghdad's fortified green zone, where members of the government live and work, with thousands more protesting outside. Well, Renad Mansour joins us now from Beirut. He's a scholar at our Carnegie Middle East Centre for more analysis on this story. Muqtada al-Sadr is making all these demands then. Do you think that the Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi is going to bow down to those demands?
I think to some extent, definitely, Haider Abadi is working to bring about reform, a cabinet reshuffle, and talking about, for example, a technocratic cabinet. Muqtada al-Sadr has been able to really take back a big role in Iraqi politics in the last few weeks. He's gone right into the green zone, and rather than any sort of contestation, the generals that are in charge of the green zone kissed his hand. He's been able to have a sit-in inside the green zone. He has a massive movement on the ground as well. Many of the protesters are in support of him, and to some extent, Abadi will have to listen to these demands. But at the same time, I think it's also important to say that Abadi himself is cognizant, is aware that these demands these reforms and changes are necessary. This is part of a long process that we've been going through in Iraq to try and bring about real structural change to institutions that just don't work, that just don't provide real governance in the country.
How divisive a figure is Muqtada al-Sadr, or does he have popular support across the country?
Well, he certainly has popular support, particularly among impoverished sort of middle, lower class, urban people, especially in Baghdad and other parts in the south of Iraq. He has support, and it's clearly evident in his ability to be able to bring massive amounts of people together in these protests. Now, of course, he is also a divisive figure. He was the leader of the Jaish al-Mahdi previously, which fought, against the American occupation, as well as committed many sectarian crimes. However, what he's trying to do recently, for the last few years, is rebrand himself. If you look at his protests now, if you look at what he's saying now, he's positioning himself as an Iraqi nationalist, looking for Iraq first, against Iran, against the US, against any of what he views as occupiers or external influences, and he's talking about Iraq first. So he's moving away, he's trying to move away from that divisive figure that he was previously.
So will Haider al-Abadi, if he announces this new cabinet, this new lineup, will it be enough to appease Muqtada al-Sadr and his supporters?
Well, it's certainly the first step. It's what Sadr actually has been working for. Sadr actually gave Abadi a list of names, 4 or 5 per each ministry. So Sadr, this seems to be one of, at least on the surface, one of his top demands. And the way that Sadr views this is once you change the top, then you go back down to the director generals of the ministries, and work slowly through each ministry to structurally change it away from the post-2003 patron-client type of governance to actual technocrats, to abled men and women being able to run the ministries. So Sadr will be satisfied to some extent, I think, if the cabinet changes are to his liking. And I think it's also important to note that this parliament has 287 members in it at the moment. As they're convening right now, that's almost 90%. These things don't happen that often to this extent. So I think it's something that we need to look out for as a big move in Iraqi politics.
Okay, Renad Mansour, thank you very much for your time this afternoon.